Right, here we're back. It's been a while. It's been about two weeks or more, but the plan was to finish this trip from ULAN-UDE up to KUYTUN, which is up there. It was a 488-mile trip to start with, on this 1:1 scale harsh Russian map. That's where we started ULAN-UDE, all the way around there, up here, and we're at this town here, or village, or whatever location it is. I think it's Shumanova, and we've still got 120 miles to go, or 125 miles to go, or 126, whatever that says on my screen. And as I said in previous videos, we don't know what this road is like. We've never driven it, and we've had a few accidents because of that. So we're going to try and get this done in this session. So without any further ado, let's see if this will load. Should be okay, I think.
Are you ready for the best backseat drivers you've ever had?
Yep, let's get this show on the road.
Check the brakes first of all.
Continue straight.
Of course, it's 25 minutes past 8 at night, and we're losing daylight, so it's beginning to become even more difficult, especially this weather, to actually see where we're going. Well, version 1.37 has been out for a couple of weeks. Oh, good morning, Polo. Yeah, well, I wouldn't worry about the match that you missed yesterday. It was a bit of a bloodbath. It's been with the voice volume on this, so I'm back on Gamecaster and I haven't adjusted it. Hang on a minute. Let me try something. Give me a sec. Let me just try something. Yeah, give me a minute. Gonna lose the picture for a second, hang on. Right, I've dropped it a bit. I've dropped the game audio a bit, but the game audio will change because after I've finished this trip, I won't be able to use this map anymore because I'm going to upgrade the game to version 1.37, which has got the F-mod audio included with it, so the audio will change in the game. And of course this map will be no longer compatible, and it'll probably be at least another 2 years maybe before a bootleg version of this map comes out, because it's a Russian guy that makes it, and I don't speak Russian, he don't speak English, and he sells the map. So we've got 120 odd real miles still to go in this road that I've never been on. And there'll be usual disasters. Yep, the video you can go and watch, but it was not a good outcome. What's happening here? We'll get the road dug up again. Yeah, Acero, sorry, not Aero, Acero, as I said on the commentary, if you're going to have a bad game, you want to have your bad game in the first game that you lose. But he had his worst nightmare yesterday, and he made at least 3 bad misses that I can remember, probably more, and it cost him dearly. And this is why, yeah, they're all the one-loss bracket. Remember that Cobra's in the final, so the matches that are on now till the final, there's only one match left, and that's going to be the match with Keith and Bedhead, and they've got until the 8th of June, which is like what, 4 days away, to arrange their match, but in between times Keith has to get his motherboard fixed or there won't be a game, and then of course the winner of that will go through to play Cobra. I'm disappointed in the way Acero finished, because he was playing so well throughout the tournament, very steady. But as I say, he had his worst day on the day you don't want to have one. And Bedhead was actually pretty good, because he got out of line. I think he got out of line in a couple of shots, but predominantly he was very good. And but you're waiting in Bedhead having one of his bad games where things don't fall into place, and he does get out of line even more, and hopefully for his sake it doesn't happen in the match against Keith, and hopefully Keith can get fixed, because I want to see a match, and hopefully they'll arrange it so I can stream it. That's another thing. I mean, Bedhead was fair enough to contact me and ask what time would suit, if he could arrange a match with Acero, and of course during the week, if it's on the Tuesday afternoon, the Wednesday or the Thursday, as long as it's not late Thursday, then any time usually will suit. No, he hasn't sorted that. He actually, he said yesterday on the stream, I was talking about it, and then lo and behold he appeared in the stream. Good morning, Ron, you won't last long with this. I've got 120 odd miles still to go in real miles. On as I say, a road I've never been on. Yeah, Keith said it's his motherboard that's packed in now, so if it's a new motherboard he's fitted, he'll be entitled to replacement, but how soon he gets that, we don't know. And if he doesn't get it in time, then there won't be a game. Unless Tin can get the match rearranged maybe a day later or something, because of course the final has a deadline date as well. It'd be disappointing to go all this far and then everything goes tits up because his PC's been giving him trouble. If I see Keith on Facebook later on today after this, I'll ask him how things are going and see if he's any further forward. But this trip here should take at least a couple of hours or more, bearing in mind the speed restrictions that we've got. And then I'm going to clear out all my mods, all my truck mods, all the bus mods, the whole lot, and then I'll download the big new map combination and upgrade the game to 137. This is horrible looking. It's been more than 3 weeks I think since I played this, and I forgot half the bloody buttons. Right, that's me adjusted the wipers. Now, do me a favour guys, I'm still having problems with YouTube. Do me a favour, go to my YouTube channel and see if you can find this streaming live. I'm betting it isn't, because I don't know what the hell they've done with YouTube. I think it's the way YouTube's set up now, because they've updated their live studio thing where you go to stream. And for the life of me, I can't get my bloody head round it to get a live stream. That game that I did yesterday, it told me that all the 3 channels were working. It certainly streamed to Facebook and it streamed to Twitch, no problem. It is live on YouTube, thank God for that. It'll probably be a bigger delay on YouTube than it is on Twitch. Well, at least I know that part's well. It certainly works okay through Gamecaster. I'm concerned about how it works through what do you call it, Broadcaster. So at the moment, Gamecaster is just the more basic,
Continue straight.
user-friendly version of the program. There's 2 different programs, and I'm looking at the chat on my main monitor because that's why I like Gamecaster for Virtual Pool 4. But I've been doing Broadcaster all the way through this tournament, or pretty much most of it, apart from the technical problems I've been having with YouTube. And for some reason there seems to be an issue. There's some sort of strange issue with Broadcaster and the way it connects to YouTube, and it's not reliable. But Gamecaster gives me very few problems, and I like it for Virtual Pool 4 because I can use my little doodle, my little telestrator thing that I use, and I can't use anything like that on Broadcaster. But this is perfect for having the text on the screen. So that's Malinovka, another discovery. Let's have a look and see where that is. Right, so that is still 100 and odd, what is it, 121 miles until we get to the end of this trip at this place up here, KUYTUN. And that's the whole of this Russian map. This is all a real scale map, whereas the actual ETS2 game is a 1:19 scale, but everything here is all real miles. Loads of hidden roads, horrible roads, treacherous roads, and traps put everywhere to catch you out. This is why I'm scared driving in this road that I've never been on, because I don't know what the hell's to come, and of course everything's in Russian. But I've got a Russian to English translator on the map, so at least I can try and read the names of the locations. Gamecaster, I'd recommend Gamecaster to anybody as far as streaming a game's concerned, because it is, I mean, I've been used to it though. I've been using it for a number of years, and it's the simplest one to set up. You don't have to input any numbers. Not like years ago when you had to input bloody bandwidths and all of that crap. You don't have to do anything like that. It's pretty much numpty proof, which is how a piece of software should be. I hope you listen to that, Polo. And it, you know, the fact that you can have the chat on screen via restream is ideal for me with one monitor. It's designed specifically for people with one monitor, whereas to use something like Broadcaster and OBS and all of those other things, you need to have a second monitor really. And the only advantage of using something like Broadcaster and OBS is the presentation side of things, where you've seen when I'm doing the stream that I can switch to my little intro thing. I can switch to my desktop so that I can show you the VP4 tournament bracket, which until Steve gets that internal bracket fixed, then I won't be able to do that in Gamecaster. I can't do it in Gamecaster because Gamecaster, the disadvantage with Gamecaster is it only picks up a game in full screen. It does not pick up your desktop or anything like that. Yeah, you can have all the little tricks. I mean, did you watch the match that I did with Moz and Keith on the Saturday night? Because what I did with that was, in preparation for the stream, I went to Duffman's channel and used the URL for his channel so that I can embed the stream onto another presentation page, and that's why I was able to switch backward and forward and have a quick look at how Moz was reacting after he'd played certain shots. Oh shit, I'm too busy reading the chat there, crashed into that. Well, there's my first accident. Yeah, I can do all of that as well, yeah. But I don't take it quite as technical as that. Now, what's going on here now? Oh, we've got rocks in the road now. You've always got to be ready for traps on this map. I don't know what the hell that was, but when you're driving along and you think you're going pretty steadily, I mean, we've still got 119 miles to go, and all of a sudden there'll be a hole in the road, or there'll be a truck in the road or something. Trees in the road, logs in the road, and now we've got a problem here where the road might be blocked and I have to find a detour. And that's the other thing about this map, is finding detours. Right, we have a problem here because I think we've got a... Well, obviously we've got roadworks. Right, I think the rain stopped. Let's have a quick look in the fly cam. See, you'll get this sort of thing happening. Now, you'll get that idiot there where the road's blocked. Now, do you see that little dirt road there? Let's have a look, see where that goes. That's going away down here. And, oh shit, it's going back the way. No, it's not. It's going to cross the way and then it goes down that way. This actually might be the detour we have to find to get past that bridge. So this road is going way down the back way there to bypass that blockage. Incidentally, the flycam is not part of the game. The flycam is part of the developer for the game, and I think that's the way we go. So if I go back, I can see where I made the mistake. In fact, is the road cleared now? I think is it cleared? Let me have a look. Yep, the road's cleared, so we're okay. That'll do it. Oh shit, there we go. Right, well, I'm more inclined to go back and find out where that little dirt road comes from. Where did the dirt road come from? How does that go from there? Right, so if we go up there, just curiosity's getting the better of me. I'm going to have to, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spawn the truck here and then go down that little dirt road, because I'm just nosy to find out where it goes. This will probably add on a few miles onto the trip. And are we going to get round this corner? Yeah, let's find out where this goes. That's part of the fun in this map. Because it's not on the GPS, so you don't know where the hell it's going to take you. Of course, we don't want to get butchered by a train. Oh, the sky's clearing up. No, anything coming that way. Why the hell's he stopped there? Is that a... No, right, he's away again. Oh, no he's not, he's thinking about it again. And there's another one coming as well. I wonder if I move back a bit, that'll make him move better. Maybe he thinks I'm in danger getting too close to the track. Well, I'll tell you, this is like a British rail service, this train. No, you'll not be back. You'll be bored with this. Right, I've had enough of this. I'm bored waiting here. I'm bored. Right, let's get past that. Now, why have I got it in reverse? Oh aye, I reversed back for the train, that's why. 8:45 at night, we've still got a bit of daylight. taking their life in their hands again here. Who knows where this is going to end up? It might just go to a dead end for all we know, but it's the finding out that's the fun part. There we are. Now there may well have been a big blockage on that route there, and you have to find this detour anyway, so it doesn't matter, we're through it. We've done about 7 miles, I think. This isn't the same bloody point we were at before, is it? You're joking me? Oh, this is funny. This is funny. This is exact. We've done a... we've done a loop. We're back at the same bloody spot we were at. Oh dear, oh he's done that just to annoy us, I'll tell you. And look at this, we've got another blockage here. Right, well I ain't following that road again. Right. Oh, that was funny. Round in a bloody complete circle. The game is estimating that the remainder of this trip should take about 2 hours and 40, which probably won't be far off, right, depending on where we have to slow down, but we're trying to get there with some daylight. Well, it looks as if it's going to be daylight at midnight here, because it's what, time's that? 20 past 11 game time, I think. Oh no, that's the estimated time of arrival. It's only 10 to 9. Of course, the clock goes in real time as well when it's real miles.
Continue straight.
need to keep my distance back from him in front, because I've seen before these AI trucks can collide with trucks and vehicles parked at the side of the road, and then you end up crunching into the back of them. I need to get a safe distance. Another break, so and we've got estimated 2 hours and 33 minutes to actually finish this trip. So now we've discovered another location, which is there, and there's where we're going.
Continue straight.
Wait a minute to read that. What does that say? Oh, back I have this. Back, I have this on while coding something for work. I have a call to South Africa at 11 AM. Hopefully it won't take too long. Oh, well, I'll still be here, I can guarantee that. I'll be here for another couple of hours yet. I'm determined to get this finished. This actual route was 488 miles when I first started it 9 streams ago. And each stream's at least an hour. So that shows you how long it's taken in real time to drive this bloody route, with the odd detour here and there. I'm surprised you never get into making mods for games. I'm sure you could do some good mods for this game. Well, that's something I would love to do. I'd love to be able to do map mods and stuff like that, but I just don't have the time to sit down and actually look that sort of stuff over, and probably it's too technical for me anyway. I mean, it's difficult to imagine. I mean, I watch the Russian guy that makes this map. I watch him on his YouTube channel when he's adding things to the map. I mean, everything you see. I mean, the trees are easy to add in this because they're like pasted in, and the game automatically, you know, lays the trees out. But everything else you see, like any building, any truck, anything like that at the side of the road, any of those electric pylons, fences, every single one of them has to be placed. There's no automatic way of doing them. I've watched them do it, and when you consider that this is a real scale map, there are hundreds of miles of road on this map, many of which are hidden and not on the GPS. But all the little towns, the villages, all the buildings, everything has to be placed, has to be put there. All the road signs, I mean the road signs like that there, I mean that road sign there, he didn't just make that road sign, he's copied it off Google Earth, copied it and then pasted it into the map. And time consumption is something that I mean he doesn't do a lot of streaming. He usually live streams when he's making the map or adding to the map, but this guy's got a wife and 3 kids running around his ankles a lot of the time, and I'm sure, I presume he drives a truck as well, because I've seen 1 or 2 of his videos. I'm presuming that he does that, and so he's got to earn a living. He certainly doesn't earn a living out of making this map and charging for it. He'll have made a few rubles over the years, but nothing to keep a roof over his head. But he certainly does not spend as much time adding to the map recently. He's not been online that much, but it's fascinating to watch him actually construct this damn thing. The other thing that's different about this map, there's a lot of maps out there, most of them are 1 to 19 scale, so you can drive 100 miles in 15-20 minutes, whereas in this 100 miles is going to take you 2-3 hours depending on the speed restrictions. But to see the amount of effort and time that somebody puts in to do something like this, I'd be happy to buy this map off him. But he only deals with predominantly Russian people anyway, and he only does it through Skype. And if you can't speak Russian, you've got no chance. So this is a bootleg copy of the map that somebody has uploaded to the download sites, and it's been 2 years since I've driven a previous version of this map. And anybody that's using this map in Western Europe and anywhere else in the world is using a bootleg version. They won't be using a paid for version. I mean, if you had a website that was in English and they had PayPal, I would buy it off them. I would gladly pay anybody for their hard work that they're doing to enhance the game. I've got no problem with doing that whatsoever. Most of the mods out there are free. There are quite a few paid map mods that I've bought. As I say, I think if somebody spends that amount of hours and time in putting in to construct a map and put all that work in, I think they deserve to get something for it, even if it's only a couple of quid. I've got absolutely no problem with doing that. Then it makes the guy feel that he's a wee bit more appreciated for the time that he spent to. I mean, this game is at least 7 years old now, and it's been updated constantly by the developers, and it's the map modders and the truck modders and all the other modders out there that have kept this game going, as it does with lots of games. But to have somebody and people spend their time making it more enjoyable, it's well worthwhile. And I've spent, I haven't bought all the DLC that's available for this. I've got all the map DLC because you always need that, and I'm quite happy to pay for stuff like that because it's a game that I enjoy. I've enjoyed it for years, and hopefully at some point they'll bring out version 3, Euro Truck 3. Well, we must have made up a few miles now. How far have we got to go? We've got 108 miles to go. So we're getting there. I'm just scared to get the foot down. Well, we can't anywhere down to a speed limit of 43, but I'm scared because I'm going to run into something. It's guaranteed there's going to be something blocking this road at some point. Because that's the type of things he does. He's devious.
Continue straight.
You're driving along quite happily, all of a sudden there's a roadblock, you can't get past it, and 5 miles up the road there's a detour that you have to find. So you have to go back on yourself, but I don't do that. I just use the fly cam. That's the cheater's way of getting to that point. So we're still at 43 mile an hour speed limit. That was the other thing I was going to say. If you've played any of Euro Truck, the official maps that come with the game, the roads are all pretty much perfect. And this is where this map is entirely different from anything that you'll drive on the standard Euro Truck maps, because I mean this map has got horrible roads, potholes, you name it. It's got cattle in the roads, people in bikes in the roads, all sorts of crazy stuff going on. And this is why you need a good sturdy truck like the one I'm driving to be able to drive this map, because believe me, this bit that we're on at the moment is easy. This is extremely easy compared to other northern parts of this map, which are, well, for the best way of describing it, absolutely diabolical. Mud roads, tracks hidden in forests, all sorts of stuff you have to find. You could drive this map for months and you'd probably still not find half the hidden roads that are on it. But then when you end up in a big long climb like this, you end up stuck behind a queue of traffic. Hopefully they're coming to the crest. But that new F-mod sound that they've added to the new version of the game, I'm in 136. Version 1.37 has been out for that last 2 or 3 weeks, and they've got the F-mod sound mod in it, which is standard with the new version of the game, and it actually works very well. I've got it in the American truck version of the game. I've upgraded it to 1.37 and I've got a big map combo on it with the F-mod working in it, and it works very nice. One of the other mods I've got on this map is Jazzy Cat, who's a guy that makes lots of traffic mods. I've got the Russian traffic pack installed in this, so you'll see vehicles going past and you'll see some Russian trucks and stuff. That isn't one, but Russian buses and things like that one there's a Russian truck. You'll see all of them going past. Right, that's the speed restriction gone. And now we come to a crawl. I was supposed to go out and do a shop today and get some grub in, but I can't be arsed. I looked outside, I mean, 3 days ago this time it was 75 degrees outside, and I was sitting here melted. I had to take my top off, I had to take the t-shirt off, I was boiling. And now it's like late September, early October outside. What I plan to do is when I go back to work now, what's that there? See, this is where my curiosity gets the better of me. I keep looking out. What's that? Now, is that just a... you see, that's just going nowhere. but it looked as if it was a track going somewhere there. I was getting excited. I was going to drive along it. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll do a shift tomorrow, and then when I'm finished about noon, I'll probably go into the local Tesco and get one or two things, and that will do me. Now, big dip here, and very often at the bottom of these big dips the road's got a big bump in it or something, but this one looks okay. .5 miles still to go. I bet if I go to overtake him there'll be something coming. There we go, knew it. So difficult to overtake in this map. Most of the major roads like this one are all get heavy traffic on them, and it's impossible to overtake. Well, it's 9:15 at night, and we've still got daylight. Now, what did I do with my bottle of water? Hang on a minute. Got a quick drink. Bottom of the screen there telling us it's going to take another 2 hours and 20 minutes. And it's telling us we've got 2 hours and 23 before we need to take another rest, so it's going
Continue straight.
it's going to be borderline that we can finish this without falling asleep at the wheel, because now of course you get stuck behind traffic again. It's just adds on to your time. Bike in the middle of the road.
Continue straight.
This is going to take a while. Well, this helicopter's getting a bit close, by the way. Right, see you later. trap set there. Standing sweeping in the middle of the road. Right, grinding to a halt here. Shit. I think we hit them this time. No damage done. Big tyre in the middle of the road. finally under 100 miles. 98 miles to go. Well, on the phone? Why you not Skyping it or something like that? That sign back there made out that the speed restrictions had gone, but let me just go onto this side of the road for a second and see what happens if it recovers. No. Mind you, of course, you can't hear me asking you that question if you've got the sound muted. We're behind now. Our rest period is now sooner than it is for the time it's saying for us to complete this trip because we've been caught in traffic. So we're now behind if we want to complete this in one session without taking a break. To bring that clock down on the bottom of the screen. Big dip here. And maybe trouble at the bottom of it. More time getting up here. This is going to take a while. Big barrel again, and the yawning started. Right, I'm going to be back 2 minutes. We're back. We're now about 5 minutes behind our rest time.
Continue straight.
Oh, is it reading the road sign?
Continue straight.
Rain again. It's getting that misty way. Definitely looks like rain. Of course it could clear up, but very often and not it leads to rain. across again. Miles still to go. Now he seems to be going slower than the rest. I've had enough of this. Because he's only just going to hold us up even more. Rain is on logs. This is tight. Time for the full beams, that way we can see miles ahead. Let's see if we're catching up a bit of time. It's at 150, an hour and 52 and an hour and 50. We're still about 5 minutes behind our rest stop time. That was close. See what I mean when I say about traps being set for you?
Continue straight.
Hell's she going with a pram? hours still left. Well, that's plenty of hours left in real time, so... And what time is it? 10 to 10 at night? I think we might as well take a sleep break. First chance we can get. And maybe this weather will clear up as well. Reverse into the traffic because that guy's not giving us an inch. Let's try this. That's a dead end road, that'll go nowhere. Right, let's just spawn here. And the parking spot will be next to this truck. Just need to roll up next to him to find it. It'll probably be pitch black when we get back on the road. Find it, we might not. Oh, there it is. Right. Switch the wipers off. And we'll take the brake, see what that takes us to. Yeah, early morning. Let's get out before the traffic comes. It's 5 to 7 in the morning now. We've had a rest. So we'll definitely, we don't need anything else. 83 miles still to go. how far we can get before we hit traffic again.
Continue straight. Continue straight. Continue straight.
See if we can actually steer and have a drink of water at the same time. Lost the lid for my bottle, hang on. I think it's went behind me in the seat. Right, got that. That's that problem solved. Right. Start gunning it a wee bit, trying to whittle this time down a bit quicker. sounds interesting. Suddenly Euro Truck Simulator 2 sounds an awful lot more enjoyable. I mean, what am I supposed to gain out of you telling me that? Yeah, I'd love to be able to do stuff like that on the computer, but I don't have enough, what's the word? I don't know, this isn't the right word either, but I don't have enough impetus to go out and do something like that and learn it. And to be honest with you, had I been growing up in this day and age when PCs, how do you know I wouldn't be patient enough to do it? Had I been growing up in this era, I probably would have been more into that as a younger kid. That's where I think you would pick that up a lot easier in learning stuff like that. I would love to make maps on this, but I mean I've looked at what the guys do when they're making maps and this, and it is bloody complicated. I mean there's a whole list of tabs and everything that they go into to do stuff. I mean it's just total gobbledygook. Well, I'll be 56 on August the 18th, so remember that. I'm expecting a present. That's if I live till then. Christ knows what happens between now and then. No, but I'm talking about, you know, when you're younger, you absorb more information better. I think that's probably it. You absorb information. Where the hell's he going? Jesus Christ! I'm reading the chat, and then the next thing I know, a lorry's jackknife in front of me. How far have we got to go? We've got 70 miles to go yet. I think that says 70, it might. Well, see, 30 years ago, I mean, if you'd, that would be 1990. See, 30 years ago, I was working in Curry's at the time, and the guy that I worked with, he had a Commodore 64 at the time, and then of course he moved up to a PC, but he said to, and at that time I had a PlayStation, I think it was, or a Nintendo 64 or something, and I remember him saying to me, and I always remember this, no, it was Curry's. That was when Dixon's was part of the, Curry's was part of the Dixon Stores group. But I worked in Curry's, and I remember at the time when he had this Commodore 64, and then he got a computer and he had it for a couple of years, and he said to me, he says, oh, you need to get a computer, you need to get online. And I said, I'll never get a computer. How come? I says, well, because all the stuff I'm playing's on the console, and I never thought I would ever have any reason for having a computer. And I said, listen, the only way I'll ever get a computer is if we have a bargain going and something to start me off. And basically, I got my bluff was called. We had I can't even remember. It was a mini tower. It was a mini tower PC. I mean, this thing's about a third the size of the beast that I've got sitting next to me here. I mean, this was small in comparison. You know, it was like a wee mini tower, and it was about 6 inches, 7 inches wide, with the vertical slot that opened up that you put the CD in. and it wasn't a gateway thing, but anyway, I can't remember what it was. And I think I got that, and then then I had, that was back in 56k internet, remember, as well. And then I got into Arma, the game, and then that was it. I was hooked, and then I got Lynx Golf, and I got Lynx Golf, and for some reason it wouldn't run properly. I mean, I didn't know about update. I mean, this was totally blind. I didn't know about doing updates and all that stuff, and updating software and programs that you might need to run things like, like Flash Player and all that. I didn't know anything about that. So I thought, right, well, I'm going to get a better computer now. God knows how many I've had since then, because I used to have them for like a year or so, or 2 years, and then I'd give them away to somebody at the work, just so I could get another one, with better memory, better graphics and that sort of stuff. Who's that? Oh, that's Ron again. Ron's woke up. Well, you're back, and we've still got 67 miles to go, and I'm going all the way. What the hell's going on there? Oh, I had, what did I have? Was it Windows 95? When is it they brought out Windows? Was it Windows 97, and then they brought out another version fairly quickly with a USB on it? I think it was the first time that USB ports appeared. That was about the time I think I got my second computer. And I'll tell you, I mean, if I lost my PC, if it totally died on me, I'd go out and buy another one. I wouldn't mess about. I couldn't do without it now. I mean, this is the only enjoyment I get. I've got no other outside interests. It used to be snooker, but the back's gone, the eyes have gone, and this is my enjoyment. This is how I waste my money. That and fags. And keeping a job to try and keep the roof over my head, that's it. But no, I wouldn't do without a computer now. I mean, I think it's, being serious, it's probably one of the best ways of educating yourself. I mean, I've probably learnt an awful lot more being online than what I ever did at the school, because at the school I couldn't be arsed. I mean, I think when you have the computer at your fingertips, and if you want to find out about anything, it's all on there. It's on there somewhere out in the net. And if we had PCs at the school, I probably, and I 100% would have enjoyed the school a lot better than what I did. I never learnt anything because I didn't like the people that were supposed to be learning you. That's the first big downfall. There's one or two teachers were alright, but I think computers is the best thing that's ever happened as far as education goes. And of course, obviously, the gaming side of it and everything like that. I never had an Atari. I'll tell you something else. The very first console, this was long before I even got the PC, remember. The very first console I ever got was a Sega Master System, and that was with Alex Kidd and Miracle World built into it. So that shows, and I've still got it, believe it or not. Would you believe I've still got I've still got the Sega Master System in its box with the two controllers with Alex Kidd and Miracle World built in, and I put it in the boot of the car one time when I was at work, and I had a couple of other games, 2 or 3 other games for it, and I put it in the car because I was talking to a customer while I was at work, and he said, oh aye, this and that, and I said, oh, I'll bring it in and let you see it, and the bastard never bought it. And so it lay in the boot of the car for months and end before I could be asked to actually take it back out and put it in the house, and it's still here, and it's going to be worth a fortune someday. And then I had the Nintendo 64, which I think that was one of my most favourite consoles I've ever had, and I loved the Super Mario World in it thing, which I thought was great. And then the other one I got was the Sega, what do you call it? The white console. What was it called again? The Sega. Oh shit! I forgot what it was. Well, it was the one that you could go onto the internet. You had a very crappy browser with it. No, not the Saturn. No, in fact, it wasn't even the white console. The Dreamcast one. Yeah, the Dreamcast one, and I loved it. I loved it because it had a great Formula 1 racing game on it. It was brilliant. And it was just a shame that it didn't get the support that it deserved. I thought it was a cracking console, and it had a great controller on it. And it's just a pity that Sega, obviously they probably they still do well in Japan, but over here nobody supported it. I had to go to Glasgow to buy games for it and pay over the odds to get them. Christ, I went even, what was it, the Sega Mega Drive when I had it. I used to go to Glasgow every week on my day off, and I used to go to a couple of the places in Glasgow that had imported Japanese games, and you had to buy an adapter to fit into your console so you could play the Japanese games on it and pay over the odds for them as well. Yeah, this sort of road surface, you don't get any of this sort of road surface in the normal Euro Truck game. They seem to think that the roads have to be perfect everywhere you go, whereas in this one you got all sorts of crap that you're going to run across. And I've still got my PlayStation 3 sitting right in front of me under the monitor. And it's thick with fag ash and dust, and it hasn't been switched on for months. Well, it has been switched on once or twice just to see if it's doing any updates, but I haven't played anything. I've got games that are built into it, the ones that I paid for online, but it needs to go in the bin because it's never going to get touched again. Yeah, I need to just take this down to the dump. When we played Gran Turismo on PlayStation 3, there was guys that hacked the maps, not the maps, the tracks and everything, and used to hack. All I did was the kart racing on it in Gran Turismo, and we used to race with Americans and Canadians in the middle of the night. Well, of course, at that time, that was when I didn't have a job. I was acting as carer for my mother at the time. So, I mean, I had plenty of time in my hands.
Continue straight.
And we had guys that hacked the carts so that you could drive at 150 miles an hour. And then Sony put out a warning that anybody hacking stuff will get their account scrubbed. So that was that knocked in the head. Right, let's have a look at the map and see where we are, because that's another discovery. There's Zima. So, where the hell is it? There we are, we're in there somewhere. So that distance there between Zima and KUYTUN is precisely, what, 64 miles still to go. Yeah, I wouldn't buy a PS4 now. I wouldn't buy one because I just wouldn't spend as much time on it. Plus the fact the games for the PC are cheaper, simple as that. Plus you get them from the right places, you'll get them at the discounted price. Yeah, I've never had the inclination to get an Xbox. Never. time for a speed restriction. I want to get there and get
Continue
this
straight.
done. Now, how long is it saying we've got to go? About another 90 minutes of this, probably slightly longer depending on the traffic, which won't change, it'll still be heavy traffic. So that was the last console that I bought, PlayStation 3. And I have to say, it has been, I mean, this isn't, it's not the fact that it's gathering dust now. When I had the PlayStation 3, it was on morning, noon and night. I mean, I got a lot of hours out of it, to the extent that it needed a new laser. I had to take it to get it fixed. I burnt this thing into the ground. So it was well used. Well used. It's definitely served its time. The next game I'm waiting on coming out is Alaskan Truck Simulator. That's quite promising looking. But again, these games live or die by the modders. And that's why Eurotruck has got such a huge following. I mean, not as much as some stupid games, but it's got a big following, a big gathering of mod makers, and that's why the game survives as well as it does. And it's also why the developers keep bringing out additions to the map. I've got the American version, and I've had it for since the day it came out. I don't play as much in it because there's not as much in the way of map mods out for it, and that, the modders mainly focus on Eurotruck. But again, there's a good map combination which covers the whole of the United States, and it covers Mexico, big part of Mexico, big bit of Canada. There's a big combination map mod that I use. I've got it working just now, but I'm not, as I say, I haven't been using it recently. I've been doing all the VP4 stuff, and then this particular trip that I'm doing started God knows how long ago, about 10 streams ago. This is going to be the last stream on this, and then I'm going to empty out the mod folder of the game and then let Steam update it, because it's like a 3 gig download to update this to the latest version of Eurotruck. And then I'm going to have to download all the mods again, because all the mods will have been updated. All the truck mods will have been updated, and the maps that I've already got installed, they'll all have to be updated. But American Truck Simulator is good, but I don't like driving American trucks, which sounds a bit crazy. I like to install either Russian trucks or Volvos and stuff like that I'm more familiar with driving with, compared to the big bulky American things. And well, American Truck has got, I mean, obviously if you understand how the American, what do you call it, the United States is, American Truck Simulator came out and it had, I think it had 3 states in the map. So you had like California, Arizona, and I can't remember what the other one was. And that was all you had initially when that game came out. And then every so often they bring out another state, or sometimes 2 states. So when you consider that there's like, what, 52 states in the United States, there's a hell of a long way to go to actually complete that sequence of additional DLC. However, the mod makers are already well ahead of them. They're already well ahead of the game developers, because they've already got a complete United States. But they always have to keep changing it, because whenever the developers SCS bring out another another DLC, then they have to readjust their map mods to work with it. So you've always got that sort of changeover period when they bring out new versions. And there's a lot of see the one main thing that I think has been wrong with Eurotruck and American Truck, and I kept going on about this and on and on and on and on. It's the same thing. You can have all the map mods and all the truck mods and everything else in it, but the way that the jobs work in this game isn't right in terms of it representing
Continue straight.
the realism that a real life truck driver has. For example, and this is the one that bugs me all the time, you pick a job up in A town and you're going from town A to town B, no matter what distance it is. In this case it's real miles in this map, because this is a 1-to-1 scale map, but on the normal game you'll do the same thing and it's from A to B, whereas a real truck driver will pick up a load. Like for example, let's say they were delivering to supermarkets, like Tesco for example. That big articulated truck has got cages full of product, and the truck itself will have its first delivery near the back door, obviously, because that's when you open up, and you'll have like maybe 6 different deliveries on that truck, because the driver starts in the morning at say Carlisle, and then he'll probably have to go to Dumfries. That'll be his first stop. So you don't have that in this game, and that's what's wrong with it. You're only ever going from A to B, and it doesn't represent the real jobs that a truck driver would have. Driving a juggernaut, you have to go from one delivery stop to another, and then by the end of the day you've done about 6 deliveries to different branches across the country. And for me it's the most glaringly obvious failure that they've had with this game. The other thing is you can't get out of the truck, and there are games out there like this Alaskan Truck Driver, and you don't do any maintenance to the truck. You don't have any punctures while you're out on the road in this game. But Alaskan Truck Driver, I've been looking at all the devlogs in it and all the little videos and snippets. You have to maintain your truck. What's that? Oh yes, I've got those, yeah. One of the guys I follow on YouTube, Squirrel, as in the little animal that eats nuts, he's got lots of Eurotruck videos, and there's also another guy that I follow because he's very good for the map mods. He does map combinations, and his name is Wombat Trucker. So Squirrel and Wombat Trucker have got lots of videos, and one of them, I think it's Wombat. He's got a video with like a 3 or 4 trailer train. Yeah, Squirrel, he's only ever on Twitch, and I don't know why these guys don't multi-stream, because I mean he's got a big following. He's got a big following, but I don't know why he doesn't multi-stream to the other platforms. But the thing about Squirrel is he is
straight.
he's got two YouTube channel. No, wait a minute here. Aye, yes, tell a lie. He's got his Twitch channel, and he's got 2 YouTube channels that I know of. The normal Squirrel channel on YouTube, and he's also got Squirrel Plus. But on Twitch he does a whole mixture of games, because I think he's given up his job, and that's what he does for a full-time job now, streaming and subscriptions and all of that stuff. But yes, you can get multiple trailer trucks in Eurotruck, but they're anything more than 2 trailers is going to be a mod, whereas in this game you can have a trailer, a double trailer, On the American Truck Simulator, you can have, I think, double trailers, but you have to have a garage in certain states before you're able to buy one, because you're limited by certain parts of the country you can actually drive these trucks. Right, what miles have we got to go? That 57 miles to go, I think. Now the time in the game is 7:38, I think it is, so we're still about another hour and a half from any daylight, I would imagine. So we're going to end up arriving in darkness if we ever get there. So that's the first thing I would add, and I wrote on the SCS forum years ago about bringing in multiple drop deliveries. Well, that just proves that there's more than me has got little else to do with the rest of their day. Speed limit here, 31 again. And I still don't see the name of the place that I'm going to on any of the road signs. Even though it's in Russian text, you still got a sort of fair idea that you're heading in the right direction, but I've been driving for hours and hours and hours with all these different streams of this trip, and I've never seen the name of where I'm going to. And this truck that I'm driving is a mod truck, the Russian KAMAZ truck.
Continue straight.
Big off-road truck, and it's got a big 1,000 horsepower engine in it, so I'll get up any hill, no matter how severe it is, depending on the weight of the cargo that I'm hauling though. So if you're going to do a job, make sure you get the right vehicle to do the job, and you need something like that in this map. I don't even, you know something, I don't even know how to do that. I've looked at YouTube chat, I've looked at Twitch chat, and I cannot see any option to make a person a moderator. And I'll tell you what the problem is. I think the problem is I can't do that until I'm live streaming, until I've got bodies in the chat. In which case I never ever go to the chat on the live stream. I'm too busy looking at the live stream on my own screen. But it's very easy to deal with arseholes. I've already had to kick one, and then another one just got bored and left, but well, it's easy enough to just kick them for the chat. I mean, let's be honest, the risk of me getting loads of bloody trollers on my streams is fairly slim to zero, considering you're the only two people watching this. Or one now that Ron's going to get something to eat. And it'll not be long before the snooker's back on this afternoon as well, now that I remember. But I've been watching some of it, and I have to say it's not been a great advert for the game, because the players that are in these groups are pretty crap compared to the quality that we're used to watching. Aye, that would certainly get it get it back. Oh, by the way, I can't remember what I was looking at on Facebook, but for some reason I ended up looking for David Icke on YouTube, and I was thinking to myself, I wonder what's going on with David Icke. That's me just found out today that that YouTube and Facebook have booted him. They've booted him. They've killed his channels. They've been binned, and it's mainly because of this first of all, it was 5G, the phone network, which he was one of the ones that started this this panic about 5G being the real cause of COVID-19, which is the biggest load of pish I've ever heard. And so he no longer has a YouTube channel, so that shut him up. And his Facebook account was scrubbed as well. But everything is just, I mean, the guy obviously has his, oh, we're going to crunch here. Take my eye off that, reading the chat again. He was, I mean, he has his, he's a conspiracy theorist. Oh, look at the state of this road here, look. Well, you're not going to see it in darkness, but look at the state of this. Imagine hitting that at 60 miles an hour. That would just throw you all over the place. But I've always said that no matter how bizarre people are, I've skipped over bridges at 60 miles an hour on this map where I'm driving along and again it's on a road I've never been on before, and then all of a sudden there's a bridge, but there's a bit, you know, the bridge is broken in the middle, and I've hurtled across it in a truck, totally by accident. Aye, David Icke, there you go. There's a guy who, I mean, I think he took over the World Snooker Championships when David Vine retired, and so he was presenting it as well as other things he was doing, and then all of a sudden he came out with that. And I remember I was watching Wogan that night when he appeared on it. But if you, it still proves my theory that it doesn't matter what you spout. If you're, look at the state of this, how am I going to get past him? I'll tell you how I'm going to get past him. I'm going to go that way. But if you say something often enough, no matter how bizarre it is, and you say it long enough, and you keep saying it, and you keep doing it, you're going to end up with a whole bunch of nutters following you and listening to you. And that's, I mean, I was looking on his website as well. And this guy's charging from 35 to 65 pounds to get a seat at one of his lectures. And then of course he's got all these books that he's selling on his website. So he's obviously he's trying to make a living, but my God. But if you sit and listen to somebody like that long enough, you start believing it. But then again, that's the same with governments as well. They'll tell you something often enough and long enough and you believe it. Right, let's see if we can get it to the floor here. Desperate to finish this. We're definitely speeding now, I can tell you. This is bound to end in disaster. Like this big bump. That's why I keep zooming out to actually, or zooming in, sorry, to see what's up ahead. Oh, we're in a dual carriageway now, so I wonder how long this will last. Well, certainly no sign of daylight yet. Oh dear, there we go. Right, you getting out of the way, pal, right, that's fine. I couldn't drive at this speed if I didn't have my full beams and my whole bank of lights on this thing. To do that, I'm bound to hit something with the range that I've got in my normal headlights. Well, that's so much for that. We're back in traffic again. Right, so we have 48 miles to go, or 49 miles to go. I can see just a hint that there's a wee tiny bit of daylight coming. Stay back from him in front there to give me a decent reaction time to whatever happens up ahead. That's the major failing I do every time on this map, especially on these tight roads. All these parked trucks and stuff at the side of the road, and AI trucks run into them, and then you've got a roadblock, and then you go hurtling straight into it like what may well have happened here. be about another hour and 5 minutes. Now obviously if we could keep up an average speed of 50 miles an hour, we'll be there a bit quicker than that, but that's unlikely to be the case. Well, we're doing 50 odd an hour, we have been for the last few minutes, so we're alright so far. So it's 10 to 8 in the morning. Of course, with this being a real scale map, it's a real time weather and real time getting to daylight, so it's I mean, there is a little hint of the darkness fading a wee bit, but it's going to take a while, best part of another hour before we see any sort of major change. But by then we should be at our destination. But that's not including the obstacles and problems that may still lie on this road, and it would not surprise me if there was. Like, we maybe have to find a detour at some point. Jesus, pile of logs in the road again. Now if I was in a normal truck there, that would have probably caused damage. These big off-road tyres that we've got and a big high wheelbase, that usually gets you out of that kind of trouble. What's this say? Let me go to the map, that way I can read that better. They moan and scream about something, then when I tell them to check it because we have fixed it, they ignore us. I take it this is a client you're talking about, not just the French in general, are you? Is that, I mean, not all the French are like that.
Continue straight.
That's the other thing. I've got the Grand Tour voice navigation mod installed on this version of Eurocrop, version 1.36. I also had it installed on the American Crop 1.36, but then I updated American Crop to the latest one, which is 1.37, and lo and behold, my Grand Tour voice navigation no longer functions. The mod is broken because it needs to be updated. So I downloaded Google Voice Navigation. It works okay. There's another thing about this map that people who are used to the normal Eurocrop maps won't know when they first try this map, and that is finding the parking space. You'll see symbols on the road, and there are trucks parked in what you would think is a parking space. Sometimes you can just draw up beside them. It will work, it will allow you to take a rest. In other places you have to actually drive around to try and find it, even though you see the parking symbol on the map. You've got to find it. And the standard fuel stations that you've got in the Eurocrop map, it's dead easy to find the parking space. But not in this map, it's not quite as simple. Plus there are big areas of this map mod where the GPS ceases to function, and then you have to use the road signs, even though they're in Russian. Right, what's going on here? I see there's a resting place in there to the right, probably near that truck that's parked in there, and another one up on the left. But we're keeping up a good pace now. This is going to eat into the miles. Avoided that. Backside's getting sore. You know what I need to buy? I need to buy one of those seat cushions that are advertised in the telly in the mornings. The sort of blue rubbery thing where you see the big fat woman sitting on the cushion, but you see the guy putting a fresh egg on top of the cushion and she sits on it and it doesn't break. That's the sort of thing I need for my arse. But it's 40 quid. Sod that for a game of soldiers. £40 and then another £3 to get it delivered. I think I'll just live with the pain. don't know what the landscape looks like, other than we've got some trees here, but we're probably not going to get enough daylight to see much of it before the end of this trip. And we've got 38 miles to go now. We're motoring along. I think I've been on for about, what, 2 hours now? It certainly feels like it. My backside's telling me it's about 2 hours. How long have I been streaming for? Because I've not got a clock here. Well, I have got a clock, but I haven't got a timer or anything to tell me how long I've been streaming. I can't see the stream channel. Still looking for the name of the place I'm going to, but I still don't see it. Maybe it's the one that's at the top of the road sign, but it's certainly got a lot more Russian letters in it than the English version of it. That one there, Kapa, whatever it says, Kappa check or something. Here's a big bump. Here's a big bump you don't want to hit at 70 mile an hour. Right, now, quick look at the map. Right, so that's like the last place with a name on it that we're going to discover there until we get to our final destination. And well, all it's got between here and there for the last 30 odd miles is resting places. There's no fuel stops, but we don't need fuel, we're alright. Let's zoom in closer at this KUYTUN place. We can get there. It's such a big bloody map. Right, hang on. That's it there, so we're going to there. I think it's about the first company we come to, so let's motor on, get it done. 37 miles to go.
Continue straight.
That was a hefty one. Just in time. Now, oh aye, big bump in the road here. holding this lorry up. A whole pile of traffic, that's what's holding them up. Yeah, see that? See now, that's got me confused. These three places all begin with K, and none of them look like KUYTUN.
Continue straight.
Sitting in a chill box by the looks of it. Well, this is going to take time as well, get up this climb. Shit. See what I'm talking about? That AI truck parked at the side of the road, and the AI vehicle that went through it eventually collided with it. Straight into my path. We're gunning it to the finish line. Doing about 80 odd or something. What the hell's holding us up now? Jesus, another line of traffic. And the bumps in the road.